Here's what we're doing.
Would you rather that he not yell?
Here, let me just say, the best answer, in my judgment, is to organize. So I put a call together last week with our activists. I thought 400 people would get on the phone. 3,000 people got on the phone. And what we all decided was we're going to focus our energy on the 6 Republican Congress members from New York, because they hold the key to stopping these horrible policies. As you know, in the House, all you need 1 or 2. In the Senate, you need 3 or 4. We don't have Republican senators in New York, but in other states there are. And the best way to organize and protest is to organize. Organizing is hard, but it's effective, and that's what we're doing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Plus, Rich Cotton. This is an America First channel. I run my mouth. I'm a regular American. If you like that kind of thing and you like my videos, press buttons, please. No one sees my videos because I'm not really algorithmically, positive, I guess we'll say. But anyway, we're going to check out Chuck Schumer mobilizing his activists. And we might even highlight a little bit of an activist in the end here. So let's just get into it. Chuck Schumer, when he says he's mobilizing activists, you know what he means? He's paying them. He means he's buying activists and making them go out and destroy the country. I mean, what else does he mean? I'm gonna call the activists, and I got 4,000 on the phone. What do you think happens after that? Do you think these activists do this for free? Is that what you think? Oh, okay. The Democrats have no plan for you. They have no policy for you. They don't have anything to offer you. Chuck told you himself that when on my little commercial, Democrats have nothing to offer. He tells you right to your face he has nothing. There is nothing to offer you except for smearing Donald Trump, attacking his approval numbers, and making it look like Americans aren't happy with what he's doing. That's their plan. That's their goal. Nothing for you, just to smear Trump and whatever he's doing, because they're lost. They're in the weeds.
He's cutting your education funds, and so your kids don't get a great education, and your school taxes will go up for that. So we have started doing this day in, day out, every day, fighting relentlessly. His numbers have started to go down from 51 to 47. If we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, his numbers will be much lower. He will not only be less popular, but less effective.
Each of those 2 videos are from the first and second week of March. So it's been 2 to 3 weeks since he said those things on Chris Hayes and wherever else he was, doesn't matter, CNN. Either way, this is their plan. Their plan is to launch activists, have the George Soros, Michael Bloomberg pipeline to the activist groups like Indivisible and these other places that are NGOs that take huge amounts of money from the government to operate, and they're funded by George Soros, Alex Soros, BlackRock, all these evil corporations that are on the Democrat side. It's the oligarchy. The oligarchy has mobilized their activists with payments. They pay these domestic terrorists to go and terrorize the country. In turn, it makes Trump's numbers dip because bad things are happening and it looks like chaos. They create the chaos and then say, look at this chaos under Trump. Meanwhile, they're paying for it. You just heard Chuck say, I called the activists. Then the activists reach out to the people that fund them for their sources in their NGO, and then they get money, and then they mobilize these people to show up and smash stuff up. It's just what they do. There's just no denying it. I'm sorry. These people can't not have jobs and travel all over the country. It's the same thing when they talk about Kamala's rallies and the fight the oligarchy rally. Someone did a video where they had most of the people there have been at 8 or 9 Kamala Harris rallies. You're dude, you don't just travel around the country going to political rallies with not getting paid for it. You're getting paid to go there. It's honestly just pathetic. It really is. Then what else do you see on the news? On top of the activists burning Tesla dealerships down all over the country and making the place unsafe and it's just domestic terrorism to reach a political end. It's what it is. Driving the stock down from Tesla. Tesla stock is rebounding today, by the way. Ultimately, they start that trash all over the country with these violent political protests, we'll call them. It's all funded through the old guard oligarchs that are fighting and want you to fight so they can keep the same oligarchy they currently have in the same status quo. Then on the media for the past few weeks, all I've seen is horrible immigrant stories. The Jamaican woman that overstayed her visa over 10 years ago was arrested coming back to Florida, and the ICE arrested her, detained her, and deported her. Meanwhile, she's been in the country for over 10 years, overstayed her, and they this big sob story to make you feel bad for illegals that are here that get deported. All of this coordinated stuff from the media, all of these stories about the terrible ICE raids and all this stuff, it's all trying to hurt Trump's numbers. As soon as they saw Trump's numbers were high and much better than it was the first term, what did they do? Did the Democrats get into office and start to let's start to fix America. Let's try to mend everything. Let's try to fix it. No, let's cause chaos. Let's cause trauma all over the country. Let's build fake propaganda narratives on the media about how bad everything is. And then we'll run polls that are specifically designed to make Trump's approval numbers and disapproval numbers change the way they want it to and the way they need to build that, to craft that narrative and craft that propaganda to say, oh, everyone's mad. Americans are mad. Americans are mad at Trump. Did you know Americans are upset with what Trump's doing? It's complete propaganda, guys. It's all fake. It's just fake. Then the go-between that they have between the politicians and the oligarchs, the Democrat billionaires that run everything and are funded through the NGOs and through their nonprofit organizations, the in-between person are these strange, fruity bot activists that they pay to have on TikTok and then try to have on YouTube as well, but don't do as well, of course, because YouTube's a little more conservative than TikTok is. But I mean, this is the guy that builds the propaganda and tries to force it on the younger generation because they're susceptible to it, to be honest.
This is amazing! Protests have been taking place across the country in the aftermath of Donald Trump attempting to belittle and disrespect President Zelensky of Ukraine on Friday. See, America is making evidently clear that they do not stand with Vladimir Putin or his lapdog Donald Trump. Just take a look. I mean, let's speak truth on this. Donald Trump has gotten away with far too much for far too long, from violating our fundamental freedoms to dismantling our government, and it's high time that people start to, well, hold him accountable. And what better day than on the day of his State of the Union address to hold national protests that hold his feet to the fire. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to be. Vocal and loud. And it's obvious, you don't need to watch the State of the Union address to know exactly what Donald Trump is going to say. And look, you don't need to watch the State of the Union address to know exactly what he's going to say. It's going to be the same old divisive rhetoric, blah, 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 immigrants, blah, 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 transgender, blah, blah, blah. The same old divisive rhetoric he has been spewing for years is going to take place again tonight inside of the Capitol. But outside of the Capitol will tell a different story. You're going to continue to see protests from morning until the night, from prior to his speech to after his speech is long over, from coast to coast.
Johnny Palmadessa is a fruitcake that routinely, in the most gay way possible, puts lip gloss on while he tries to trigger Trump supporters on live streams where he accepts phone calls from strangers. And he's the most insufferable, bad faith debate tactic person you could ever want to talk to. Never talk to this dude. He's a piece of shit. Don't talk to him. All he wants to do is see if he can trigger you and make you mad while interrupting you, pivoting, projecting, and doing everything that they do. It's just really pathetic. We'll highlight him in another video. We'll talk a little bit more about it because I promise you right now, dude is collecting a DNC paycheck. He's collecting an Act Blue paycheck. I can promise you that. Did you think a guy with less than 10,000 subscribers? I think he has like 6,000 or 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, a couple hundred, like 200,000 on TikTok, of course, because he could just buy them there. I'm sure they could be bought anywhere, to be honest. You know, his videos have like no comments on them. All the comments are from conservative people calling him just every bad name in the book. And the callers just get so mad and huff a puff with him because they don't get anywhere. The conversations don't go anywhere. All he does is try to dunk on you and score points while he puts lip gloss on in the most gay way possible to try to make it's just, dude, like, I don't got a problem with gay people, but your boy is flaming and it's just annoying, dude. Stop putting the lip gloss on like that, bro. You are not a good looking female. Stop doing that shit, dude. It looks silly. You look silly, bro. Anyway, dude is collecting a check. Do you think a guy that has that little of a following, that has no comments even on his YouTube channels and really no impressions there, do you think? I mean, it looks like my channel, damn. But he's backstage during Kamala's campaign, hugging Kamala, gushing all over her, and being backstage at DNC events. So he's not taking a DNC paycheck? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they found him. His content's so amazing, they had to invite him to the White House and have him during Kamala's campaign. Okay.
You cannot make this up. Kamala Harris is again proving why she is so much better than Donald Trump. I had the chance to meet Kamala, and here's the video we made. She is so brat.
Okay. So we are here with Madam Vice President right now. Now, we are representing millions of LGBTQ plus Americans, millions of Gen Z Americans, and millions of folks at Midas Mighty. Shout out to y'all. We love you. But thank you so much for your work.
Listen,
We love you.
I'm going to just tell you something. It is so important that we remind everybody that we're all in this together. We are a community of people who care about each other. No one should fight alone. We are all in this together. And the bottom line is that we have so much good to do, and we will do it together.
Thank you.
Okay? Okay.
Let's keep fighting.
See you guys.
Could you imagine having to pretend to be excited to meet Kamala Harris and pretend that she's like this big thought leader in American politics that you're just gushing like a 12-year-old girl over it? Dude, you're telling me that guy is just his TikTok says he's a political strategist. This is a political strategist and a journalist is what this person claims to be. I see a Democrat operative that's collecting a check from ActBlue or Indivisible or any of those NGOs, any of the campaign finance groups, any of the DNC donor groups, any of the places that spend the money on these types of people. So they have those people in the media running this stuff for the young people on TikTok, just pretending, just playing fantasy land. Then you have the activists that go and protest that are getting paid to show up places and tear the country down. Then you have the media being paid to spread the propaganda and pretend like everything's bad for Trump. Meanwhile, most of us support everything that he's doing. Nothing has changed. He hasn't changed anything. Everything that we were supporting from Trump 4 weeks ago, we still support. He's still doing the same thing. I don't understand how his approval and disapproval numbers shifted so much in the last couple weeks. It just so happens right after the Democrats announced they're calling their activists and they're putting people in the streets to disrupt life to show how mad Americans are. So typically, you know how they talk about organic grassroots. It's super organic and grassroots, like to have to call activists to mobilize them and get them and organize them and put them in the street by the thousands at Tesla dealerships all over the country and do all this. That's super organic and grassroots, man. Good job, Democrats. It's gonna super duper work, I bet. So we'll check out Johnny Palmadessa in the next video and see a little bit more about how ridiculous his content is. I mean, he's clearly collecting a check from the Democrats. I mean, that anyway, but that's another part of the arm of the Democrat machine. Whenever they're trying to smear someone, they don't have any policy. They don't have anything that the American people want. So the only thing they can do is tear down what Trump is doing and what we like about Trump. In the end, he kind of the things he's saying is already super suspicious and really, really bad. And I could easily connect the dots with this stuff. But whenever he says things so bad that Mike Johnson has to call him out and say, listen to what he's saying, he's clearly promoting domestic terrorism and he's activating it and mobilizing it. Check this out.
We in 2017 when he was last here, Nancy Pelosi and I said we're going to go after him on health care. He was very unpopular with that. We're going to go after him on tax breaks for the rich. And then we won the House and picked up some seats in the Senate in 2018. Same thing is going to happen now. And we're going to go after him in so many different ways. We are doing much better on the social media, led by Cory Booker and Tina Smith in our House. And so we're reaching people who were not reached before. We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences.
That's why I brought in the DNC bot Johnny Palmadessa just to show you. That's what he's talking about with the social media stuff they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're paying twinks to go online and make fun of Trump and pretend they're slaying Queen. It's really weird. Anyway, it's not organic at all. It's the opposite of that. But then what did he just say? He said, let's hear it one more time. We are going to go after them and force them to either change their vote or face the consequences. while they're burning down Tesla dealerships all over the country because one man that owns the Tesla company is going against them, and he's facing the consequences. That's exactly what he's saying, but they will spin it, and the media will spin it into, well, he meant something else. He means the consequences of not being voted for again. They'll get voted out. That's what he'll say, but you know exactly what he means. Hear it one more time.
In New York, we have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences.
Thank you, Leader Scalise and these other members. It's a great day, but I've got to address a couple of things with you, and I need to start with something that's pretty serious. Chuck Schumer engaged in a lot of unusual activity last week, but among the most concerning was his invitation to activists nationwide. I want to quote to you what he said on PBS and I think in other venues, but this is what he said on that particular program, quote, "We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences," unquote. It was reminiscent of the threats he made to Supreme Court justices a year and a half ago or so on the steps of the Supreme Court. It's dangerous rhetoric, and that message was received. So we had far-left activists go into some of these events. They engaged in a physical altercation at least one of them, Representative Lawler in New York, just hours after he made that call to action.
All right, man. Like I said, this was a call to action. Chuck Schumer admitted it on TV and said that he called his activists, got them mobilized, and sent them out into the streets. He sent them to Republican districts to force them to change their vote or face the consequences. He did it with Supreme Court justices in the past and sent activists to Supreme Court justices' houses. You know, this is domestic terrorism. This is what this is. It's funded by the old oligarchs that they pretend that they fight against. The 90 billionaires that donated the $1 billion to Kamala Harris's campaign. These are the people that fund the social media, the fake social media accounts that make these videos pretending to gush over Trump's numbers being bad. That's the first level. Then the second level is the garbage people in the streets burning everything down, and they pay for it. They absolutely pay for it through NGOs and all of this stuff, and that's why they squealed so bad when U.S. aid started shutting all this stuff down and shutting all their slush funds down, because they need that money to mobilize, because it's not organic. This isn't something people want. This is something that the oligarchs are doing to us. They don't want the new oligarchs to take over. They are the oligarchs that have been in charge. It's the deep state. It's the globalist deep state. Those are the oligarchs. And that's why they're mad. And they project on the new oligarchs. It is a strange world, guys. All right, man. If you like the content, you like what I'm doing, I got another video coming at you about Johnny Paul Medessa, because it's just, I can't not do it. There's some videos you need to check out with him. So that's going to be coming soon. I need you to press buttons. I really hate asking for subscribing and liking and stuff, but I kind of need you to do it, man. I'd like to slide into this algorithm. Maybe once a month, I'd like to slide into the algorithm. Maybe once. All right, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Rich.